Well, for most people across southeast Louisiana, the pressing question is, when will we have the power back?
That's right. David Hammer has been trying to get answers for us. He actually just got off of a conference call with Entergy officials. And David, what did you learn?
Well, I just ran down here and we have some more updates on restoration times, especially outside of the city of New Orleans. We are now getting word that they have specific restoration times for those hardest hit areas. Plaquemines Parish, Terrebonne Parish, Lafourche Parish. They are saying September 29th at the latest to restore power in those parishes. In Tangipahoa, they're saying September 17th, St. John and St. James, September 17th, and St. Charles Parish, September 29th. So we're getting some specific dates, which they were not willing to give yesterday, for those hardest hit parishes. Some of them are a few weeks out, some of them more than 3 weeks from getting power, but those are their latest restoration dates that they're giving. They're saying they will be restored by them at the latest, as long as they don't have additional difficulties.
Yeah, and David, what are they saying the big delay is going to be? I mean, you say the end, that's practically the end of the month.
Right. Well, while they have the assessment 100% done for Orleans and Jefferson and the areas closest to the city, they are not even close to done with the assessment in those areas because they were so hard hit, and there's some areas where they're not even able to get in to find out what's going on. So that's part of the problem in those really hard hit areas. One of the things they were saying on the call from the CEOs of both Entergy Louisiana and Entergy New Orleans is that they have had more damage, already more poles damaged in Hurricane Ida than they had for Hurricanes Katrina, Zeta, and Delta combined.
Wow.
Yes, so that there were over 22,000 poles damaged, more than 21,000 spans of wire that connect between those poles, and more than 5,000 transformers. So they're working through that right now. They have been able to fix a significant number of those in the areas that were least hit. I mean, everything's relative, right? City of New Orleans, Jefferson Parish are less affected directly than those areas in the river parishes and down in the bayou. But so they've replaced more than 1,500 of those poles. They've replaced more than 3,600 spans of wire and more than 474 transformers. Now, the other big news is you got to keep thinking about this in two sections. You've got transmission, which is the big high, the lines coming in from outside the area. They have 6 of the 8 entry points into the area restored now. That means that they can essentially take in the full amount of load, as they call it, the full amount of high voltage power coming into the area. Then they have been able to restore in New Orleans all 27 substations, which are those areas where they bring in that high voltage power and switch it down to lower voltage to be able to deliver it to your home. Another thing that I wanted to find out about from John Hawkins, the head of distribution, is what happens in these areas where the power's been restored, but the connection from the power line to your home is broken on Entergy's side, because I'm already hearing from folks who have had to hire electricians and saying, why is my power not on, but the rest of my block is? And they're finding out that some of those lines that come down, the connectors from the power poles to individual homes, are broken, and that is Entergy's responsibility, and the electrician can't do anything about it. But those, that's going to take a while to get Entergy out to handle individual feeders to individual homes. So he said you have to be patient, unfortunately.
David, are they going to have enough manpower to do this job? I mean, I know we've been seeing lots of linemen come in, but this is an incredible effort.
Yeah, when you think about it being the more damage than what they saw in Katrina and Zeta and Delta combined, it's going to take a Herculean effort to get to all of these connectors and feeders and substations and transformers. And we do have 21,000 workers in the area, most of them from outside the area, coming in to help. Those are contractors hired by Entergy to provide that on-the-ground work. But You're right, Paul. That's going to be a tremendous, long, extensive effort. But the fact that they're giving these estimated restoration times, that 90% of the city of New Orleans will be back on, and Jefferson Parish in the urban areas will be back on by September 8th. That's Wednesday. That is, you know, extremely good news compared to what people feared.
Yeah, that's what I was
Obviously.
just about to say. Entergy was calling this catastrophic, right? When we found out that that transmission tower fell, people then thinking we would go weeks and weeks without power here in the city. So, you know, people have been without power for over a week. So I hate to say that it's not bad. It definitely still is. But this does seem to be a lot faster than anyone anticipated. Did something change there?
No, I don't think anything changed. They just really got down to it, and they were able to get those transmission lines restored. We're still trying to get details on exactly what failed there, because Sheba, you mentioned that downed tower. That was critical to losing one of those high voltage transmission lines that come in from the outside world. But there were 7 others that were also lost. And the question now is, what is that was why it was a catastrophic failure. The fact that they had absolutely no power coming in from the outside world, that's what they were describing as catastrophic. But they were able to get those restored. Now 6 out of those 8 are restored. So that means, and when you think of it, the fact that they can create a loop, meaning they have power coming in from Waterford in the west, that's the nuclear power station out there across from Norco. The fact that they're bringing in lines from across Lake Pontchartrain up to the north, and they have a power station in Washington Parish that's functioning now and delivering power. And then the fact that they have 9 Mile Point, which is across from uptown New Orleans on the West Bank side, that's operating, and they have the New Orleans Power Station in the east that's operating. That means that they have the capacity to take in as much power as they need. Now the question is simply, can they get it delivered at the local level? And that's why the fact that they've got all the substations back up and running in the city of New Orleans is so critical. So we're going to see a huge amount, they say that we're going to see a huge amount of progress today in the city of New Orleans and in Jefferson Parish because of that.
David, before I wrap you here, I've got a quick question regarding some of those areas outside the levee protection in both Orleans and Jefferson. Any update on when those folks might be able to have power back?
Yes, we have an update that those are going to be not back. Well, they're promising they will be back by September 25th, so it's likely to go 3 weeks for those folks.
And before we let you go, David, one more question. I've seen some people posting that the power comes back on and then goes out. Have you heard issues with that?
Absolutely. It is a very delicate process to bring these back on. Sometimes they come in and they go out again. And again, it's these individual feeder lines feeding individual homes that may have surges. They may have issues where you have to deal with things on your home side with your breakers and make sure that that's all taken care of. And for that, you have to actually hire an electrician, unfortunately.
David Hammer, thank you so much.
You're welcome.